if I remember correctly, and if I may quote you, you said, the president is the target of the Senate. They want to discredit the president. But hold on. Mr. Ibrahim Magu was rejected as EFCC chairman. And this were, according to the Senate, based on a security report they got from the DSS. And part of that report reads, the acting EFCC boss was also accused of, in the report, of making false allegations against individuals for personal reasons. One. The other one, that he lives in an accommodation that cost about 20 million naira, but actually 40 million naira was paid for that accommodation. It was also alleged in that report that Mr. Magu was in possession of some documents, EFCC documents, in his private residence during the chairmanship of Farida Waziri. Also, maybe the last one here, that Mr. Magu returned to the EFCC under questionable circumstances. These are all supposed to be part of the report of the DSS. And you say, with all of this, they reject him, and you still say the president is a target. Why do you say that?
Hello, thank you, Neta. You see, on the rejection of the confirmation for Mr. Magu, although a lot Nigerians as a whole are waiting to hear from Magu himself on those allegations the Senate made in their so-called security report. But mere looking at it, when you go through it, you will lack that most of those things they mentioned there, they lacked substance. Today, if they have come out rightly out and say this is where Magu actually has faulted, or he has received a bribe and refused to pursue a case or something like that, clearly with all the evidences, and they show people, and that will be something that a lot of people can understand. But just because in some reports they said because he was being flown in a friend's private jet. I mean, how many people fly private jet? I mean, at least they didn't say it's his own. Even the house, the issue of accommodation, living in 20 million house, or, you know, that because he's now chairman, before he was living in Karu. Now he moved to the better area of Abuja for security reasons. Thank God they mentioned security reasons. I mean, if you come here and you find out how expensive living inside the city is, you will know that, I mean, for a chairman of a commission like EFCC, for the security of that personnel, I mean, it's not. And thank God, they said this is. They didn't say this is his house. I mean, when you look at the so-called security report, you will find that there is more to it than actually what the security report contains.
Mr. Abdullah, but one would wonder, because before now, the Senate has not had any direct dealings with Mr. Magu. I mean, none of the senators has been arrested, well, for anything by the EFCC. So the Senate will not have any reason per se to want to malign Mr. Magu. Instead, they've even worked, Mr. Magu, the EFCC has worked with the DSS to arrest some justices and all of that. So how would they begin to malign Mr. Magu?
They may be acting script, somebody's script. They may be acting somebody's script, actually. They don't, the Magu doesn't have to have a case with them for them to actually reject him. There may be other influences that we do not know about. Somebody who can actually direct the Senate, or the majority of the Senate, or the principal officers of the Senate on what to do. You know, there is a script here, a clear written script here. And of course, we know that there is a possibility of a clash between sister agencies, sister security agencies, that may actually even also come to play. And that is not really totally alien or a peculiar case to Nigeria. Even in the United States, we have cases where you find CIA, the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, they are not actually always on board or on the same page when it comes to issues of national security, and that can actually affect issues of personalities and or affecting the heads of these agencies. So it's not a peculiar issue in Nigeria. I'm not saying this is what happened in the case of Magu, but these are things that we cannot really throw out the possibility of having a play in this case. But when you look at the so-called security report, you will really a legal practitioner, is it really enough to reject
for a legal practitioner and a public affairs analyst? One would wonder why you take this stand. In the month of September, the Senate wrote to the Department of State Services asking them to do a security report on the acting EFCC chairman. And in October 5 to be precise, that letter was responded to and the report was submitted to the Senate. And yet you say the Senate is playing out a script. How do you balance all of this? Again, you also said something about the SGF.
I say there's a possibility.
There's a possibility. So who would be that person that will be dictating or writing a script for the Senate? Or you don't want them to get the right person into that office?
How will be for the journalists to find out? I mean, that's the role of investigative journalism.
So in your opinion, even with this DSS report, the Senate should have just gone ahead to confirm Mr. Magu?
I'm not saying that. We are waiting to hear from Magu himself. I'm sure he is going to respond to all point by point what they raised in their petition. I mean, he owes it, even if his name is not going to be resubmitted to the Senate. I mean, he owes it to his own reputation, to Nigeria, to actually address issue by issue, point by point of what the National Assembly, the security report made about him.
Okay.
And I'm not here to hold brief for Mr. Magu,
okay,
but I believe he has done fantastic work as the head of the anti-graft agency. He has done a lot of recoveries. He has made a lot of...
all right. Would you also say the same for the Secretary to the Government of the Federation? Would you say he should respond to the points raised by the Senate word for word?
Come again, please.
You said Mr. Magu would brief the public as regards the allegations made by the Senate against him. Would you also say that the Secretary to the Government of the Federation should do the same, brief the public in reaction to the allegations made by the Senate against him? Or would you say he should step aside until his name is cleared?
Absolutely. If they are really matters of substance, I believe he should do that. But I think what this SGF, what the Secretary of the Government of Federation see is in that, and that's why he used these terminologies, balderish and so on. He didn't see any substance in what the National Assembly are saying first, because he believed that if they have something against him, they should invite him. That's what is applicable in other crimes. You can't go to other countries and then you will just indict someone without calling him to appear to your committee, whether in front of the committee or in front of the whole Senate, and ask him these questions. We have this evidence or cases against you. What's your take on it? What can you say about yourself? You have to give someone the opportunity to hear their own side. That's very important in everything, in every right procedure. Audi alteram paten nemo jude in kasasua. That is principle of natural justice.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Aliyu Abdullah, legal practitioner and public affairs analyst. Thank you for talking with us. We've been looking at the face-up between the Senate and the executive as regards what the allegations made against the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, and then that made, or the confirmation of the acting chairman of the EFCC that was rejected. And that's our show for today. I want to thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for all those that sent in their comments. We do hope we'll get the waters cleared out in good time, even for the festive. Oh, sorry, the Senate has gone on recess till the 10th of January. But that's the show tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Neo Taigwe.